Steve Bull has been climbing for 18 years and has conquered some of the highest peaks in the world.
For me, the mountain environment is a very special and beautiful place. Particularly Mount McKinley, it's one of the great wildernesses of this world. It's been one of my ambitions for a long time.
Anthony Hollinshead is Steve's best friend and his long-time climbing partner.
Climbing is predominantly having trust in your climbing partner. It's paramount that you know what the other's doing.
Nigel Vardy completes the three-man team. This is his first expedition with the others. He's an experienced climber, but he's never attempted a mountain as treacherous as Mount McKinley.
I sometimes suffer a little bit with confidence, and sometimes I have to say, Nigel, you can do this, you'll be fine. Originally, Steve had the dream of climbing McKinley, and really we perhaps followed his lead.
It would be the first big expedition that Nigel had done, so I think he was a little unsure of what was in front of him.
With Nigel coming into the team, it's obviously changes the team dynamics slightly, I suppose. Stephen and I were used to making decisions.
Right, you ready?
There's an awful lot of pressure to work together well, because you are reliant on each other. Absolutely reliant. There is nobody else there.
Come on, now, let's get going.
There are a number of routes up Mount McKinley. One of the most popular is the West Buttress. But Steve, Anthony and Nigel have decided to tackle the much tougher West Rib route. After 17 days of severe climbing, they've reached their last camp at 16,000 feet. They aim to go for the summit tomorrow.
The night before the summit bed, we're in the tent. We're all pretty high. I think we're ready for it tomorrow.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, dehydrated meat or fish, or how about our lovely powdered vegetarian option?
He is a real comedy character to know, is Anthony. Full of life, always got a good laugh.
Hey, nice bit of colour you picked up today. You'll be in swimming trunks tomorrow.
Did you not put your sunblock on today?
Steve's quite the opposite. Steve's a very serious character.
Should be like a religion to you, Nigel. You know what the sun can do to your skin up here? Right. Fast up, fast down, OK? So let's strip all the unnecessary gear and pack a kit.
What we agreed? Frillies in tutus.
Fellas, you should have had this done earlier.
He said, run for the summit, stick the flag on, get the photographs, and back down again.
To get to the summit and back before nightfall, they need to travel light. They leave the tent and most of their equipment behind. After hours of hard climbing, the team are already behind schedule. They've now reached an area known as the football field, a flat plateau just below the summit. But the weather is changing.
As we walked across the top of the football field, the wind started to increase rapidly.
The temperatures dropped to around minus 50 degrees centigrade, with the wind howling over the summit ridge at about 70 miles an hour. I don't know what that takes you down to, but it's cold, believe me.
Every step is just draining. You're almost crawling, really, just to sort of get your face out of the wind.
It can be like being hit with hailstones, frozen peas if you've got exposed flesh.
Weather conditions on Mount McKinley are some of the most unpredictable in the world and can cause death by flash freezing in seconds.
We'd all got 17 days hard climbing behind us, which means you don't carry a lot of excess fat, which is what you need in a situation like this.
These conditions are very tough for all of them, but for one, the conditions are proving too much.
What I didn't realise was how cold Steve was getting. Steve was getting bitterly cold.
I can feel myself going down. I'm shivering, my teeth are chattering, my thought process is slowing down, I'm becoming lethargic.
Steve, who is leading the team, is beginning to feel the effects of hypothermia. He's literally freezing to death. They're at over 19,000 feet, and the temperature is plummeting. At such altitudes, the impact of an unpredicted storm like this is devastating. Steve is suffering badly. Anthony and Nigel know that they have to get him out of the freezing cold.
We need to look for shelter! Get somewhere safe, now!
Finding anywhere to hide up there is very difficult. You really are out on your own.
Wait! Up there!
By the grace of God, we found a crevasse at the base of the summit cone. We took our ice axes and opened the face of it up, which was very hard work.
I can feel myself going down. I'm shivering. Hypothermia is going to come soon if I don't get out of this wind.
It was a wind that was killing us. And once we were in there, I'm not going to say it was warm, but it was warmer.
Oh, God. Please. Easy.
As the cold's taking effect, your mind's slowing down, your reactions are slowing down, thought process is slowing down. So I'm relying then on others to take care of me.
Easy. I need you to hug me. I need you to get some warmth into me.
Steve asks me to sort of cuddle him, keep him warm, really.
You ever tell anyone about this at climbing club? And you're toast.
Anthony was talking to Steve quite a lot, and I think that probably came from the fact that they were great friends anyway. They'd known each other a long, long time, and Anthony just wasn't going to let him go.
Thirsty. Give us a drink. Nice drink. Let's see what we've got.
Dehydration is a major, major problem.
The team begin to regret leaving their equipment behind.
What's that then, Nige?
We should have carried a stove to reheat and to get some warm food inside us and possibly a better drink inside us.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. Just calm down. I'm here, all right? So shh.
We've got to radio for help. Get them to send help. We'll never get Steve down on our own, not in the state that he's in. We've got no choice.
I don't know. He's still shivering and moving. That's a really good sign.
Nigel and Anthony know that Steve would want to carry on, but they now must decide if they should call off the climb and send out a mayday call.
It's a very difficult decision to actually decide that we've got to make this mayday call because we don't know how Steve's going to react.
We need to call now rather than waiting till it's too late. Just hope there's enough charge in the battery to get through. Try to keep it warm, but it's so cold.
Is it okay?
We'll get a better signal outside. Base camp! This is Expedition Denson. Do you copy? This is Expedition Denson, requesting urgent assistance. Over.
This is Base Camp. Base Camp receiving. If you're trying to reach us, we can hear your button being pressed, but no voice transmission. Repeat, your button, but not your voice.
I felt very happy to hear somebody else's voice, that there was somebody there. But they were really struggling to hear us.
We need you to respond by clicks. 1 click for yes, 2 for no.
And so they started off, are you this expedition? 1 click for yes, 2 clicks for no.
Are you Expedition Zambezi?
We just went down until they got a click for yes.
Are you Expedition Denson?
And at that point, they've got who you are, what route you're climbing, next of kin, equipment, all this information they can use.
The storm is too bad to rescue you tonight. We need you to call again in the morning.
What did they say?
I'm to call. Reconfirm our position in the morning. We've just got to get through tonight. Radio again tomorrow.
Steve? Nige! Steve, stop moving! Steve! Steve!
Steve is becoming dangerously hypothermic. And now Nigel is also losing his battle against the cold.
I don't realise I'm going hypothermic. And my own mind is shutting down.
Anthony must try to keep his 2 friends alive in temperatures of minus 30 degrees at almost 20,000 feet. It's been a long night, but eventually Anthony emerges to see if the weather at least may be changing for the better. With daybreak comes another surprise.
Morning.
You seem disgustingly fit for a man who was a shivering wreck last night. Obviously these big manly arms of mine are stuffed.
Overnight, Anthony managed to slow the process of hypothermia by holding Steve's body close to his own, providing much-needed insulation against the cold.
It was a vast improvement from the previous night. Steve actually was in a good condition.
Come on, let's go and check where we are.
What about Nige?
Oh, we can get him later. Look, just like you and I, let's go and have a look at this mountain that we've been talking about for so long. Okay.
At this point, I'm still hoping to make it to the summit, for all 3 of us to get there.
Will you look at that?
It's there for the taking. Come on, let's go for it.
Steve, last night you were pretty bad, you know. Nigel thought, we both thought that he should radio a distress call.
What the hell did you do that for? What did they say?
Nigel went outside to make the call. He said the radio didn't seem to be working.
One last push and we're there. So let's get back radio base and tell them that we're all fine now.
Look, I'm sorry, mate, but you were a real mess.
It's fine. Really. Let's just get back, get Nigel, radio in and push on. Okay. Have a placement.
All of a sudden there's a crack. And I'm off. The adrenaline's going and I'm thinking so fast that these seconds I'm falling feels like minutes. There's absolutely no way I can plant this ice axe to stop my fall. It would just rip my arm out of the socket. I need to stop.
Steve has fallen around 1,100 feet.
Oh, I can't believe I'm still alive. The fall should have killed me.
Steve has severely injured both his legs. The right is fractured, but his left is shattered in 12 places. He's over 17,000 feet up, and in his condition a huge distance from the route where he had hoped to find help. Over 2,000 feet above him, his friends are waiting for the rescue that may now never come.
We still can't eat or drink anything, and this is almost 36 hours after we'd set off. So, you know, it's a long time to go without taking anything on board. There is little we can do to stay warm without using our energies up. Not knowing quite what the next step is going to be. And we're telling kiddies jokes, which aren't very funny.
How do you keep a dog from smelling?
Hold his nose.
Listen. Listen. Steve's got down and given him our position. We're gonna be okay.
You're listening and listening and listening and thinking to yourself, fantastic. This could be it.
Help! Help!
I can hear helicopters. You can hear the chopper blades coming round and round the mountain.
Help!
Thinking to myself, are they looking for us? There's a rescue party coming up the mountain now, or we're going to be safe. And the blades go away and sink into the distance.
At this kind of altitude, a helicopter rescue is virtually impossible. Whatever they can hear, it's unlikely that it's deliverance. Beneath them, Steve is critically injured, but is making a heroic effort to drag himself to where he can be spotted by other climbers. His injuries are so bad he might not live, but Steve believes that if he fails, all three of them will die on the mountain.
I've got to gain access to the popular route where people will be coming up. My only hope is going back up the ice chute I've just fallen down. I've still got the crampon on my right leg, and I'm using that right leg to purchase me up. I can feel the bone grating as I'm going. I get so far up, and my crampon slips, and I'm sliding back down again. On the way down, I bang my left leg. pain's quite excruciating now. I need to take a look at my legs and see what condition they're in. I roll up my trousers. The bone on my left leg is sticking through the skin. I'm really concerned now that I might bleed to death. And try to put pressure on the wound to stem the flow. Now I'm pressing down onto bone end and just raw fibres showing through the skin.
Steve is desperate to press on for help. He must splint his leg to keep going.
I tie my ice axe around my leg to try and support it. Everything's lined up now, and I'm looking in better condition. Now comes a big test. What am I going to do? If I don't put my weight on the leg, I'll never know, I'll never get off. Gotta give it a go. I'm sitting here in the snow, wondering what the hell I'm going to do. I can't stand up and walk. I've tried crawling. I've got a whistle. I start to blow my whistle in case there's anybody just the other side of the rib. I'm sitting there thinking, what else can I do to attract attention? I've got nothing else. This is it. The sun's gone down. If I think about 4 hours in the dark, temperature's down to -50 centigrade, and surviving it, it's a long, long way to go.
Steve's body is succumbing to the cold. He tries desperately to stay alive.
I'm thinking about my family back home in England. That's keeping me going. I want to see my family. I want to go home to. I've got to stay awake. I'm messing with my leg. Putting my goggles over my eyes so my eyes don't freeze. Even tapping my leg to stimulate some pain so that it keeps me awake.
Climber Steve Ball has had an horrific fall on Mount McKinley. He's been stranded for 15 hours with terrible injuries in unbelievable cold. His fellow climbers, Anthony and Nigel, have been rescued. All he can do now is hope someone finds him before he dies.
Steve!
His friends have no idea that Steve is still lost on the mountain.
Somebody came into my room in the hospital to ask me what Steve was wearing. It's only then I actually realised that Steve wasn't in a place of safety. He'd been there for up to 12 hours out, exposed on the mountainside, and nobody knew where he was.
Climbers have now been alerted and are out searching for Steve, but they have no idea where to look for him and have little hope of finding him alive. It is rare for the human body to survive overnight temperatures as low as -50 degrees.
I can't feel my feet anymore. My nose is cold. I don't want to take my fingers out of my pockets. I just want to stay huddled up. I haven't got a lot left. I'm starting to lose it.
Steve's lost all hope of being saved. He hasn't made it to the path. All he can do is wait for death.
I'm hearing voices, and I don't know who it is. I think I'm dreaming.
But it's not a dream. These voices are real.
Tom, on the radio, quick.
I know these voices, and I know I'm being rescued. I know I can't be dreaming it because I'm feeling the pain, and you don't feel pain when you're dreaming. I'm awake. They tell me they're climbers, and they found me, and they're surprised that I'm still alive. I'm cold, but I'm alive, and I'm going to stay alive. I want to go home.
Kyrgyzstan is a remote mountainous country in Central Asia, formerly part of the Soviet Union. It's here that 3 hunters have come on a trip of a lifetime in search of the rare Marco Polo sheep.
The Marco Polo sheep is probably the most majestic ram that you would see anywhere in the world.
Spook Span is here with his father, Denny.
All right, let's go.
The trip is the pinnacle of their lifetime's passion for hunting.
We were very much country people. Grew up hunting, fishing, running up and down the creeks and the rivers.
Hunting often takes them away from their home in Tennessee, but this is their most adventurous journey to date.
I really didn't know anything about Kyrgyzstan, just that it was mountainous. I did know that.
Hey, let's have a little wait for the camera, guys.
Joining the father and son is Spook's Canadian hunting buddy, Clay Lancaster.
The biggest appeal with the hunting part is the adventure. I mean, a lot of people think it's all about just shooting something, but it's not about that. It's about getting away from cities, telephones, people, getting into the high mountains.
The 3 friends arrive in Kyrgyzstan and set off in minivans for their remote base camp.
Come on, Clay, rise and shine.
You there? I remember waking up and going, wow, is this ever cold? My feet were cold, my body was cold.
Hey.
Oh.
Mountains everywhere you looked, and it was absolutely beautiful.
This is it.
I felt about as remote as a human could possibly feel. I mean, we didn't even hear or see an airplane. I mean, there was nothing. Those are the kind of things that were a lot different than what I was used to.
Say, if I promise to be quick, calling home already, then?
Clay has brought along a satellite phone and GPS in case of emergency.
Back in 1 minute.
But Denny wants to check in with his wife, Ruby.
Hello, Ruby?
I called her and told her if we didn't fire a shot that this trip was worth it, because it was probably one of the most beautiful scenes I'd ever seen.
Boy, it was worth the journey. Thank you. Hope you said your goodbyes, Denny. From now on, this is strictly an emergency phone.
Well, you're kidding, Clay. Every call to the wife is an emergency.
Having bagged their trophy, the hunters are looking forward to heading home. Denny, Spook, and Clay leave base camp to travel on via the nearest town, over 300 miles away. But as they set off on the 8-hour journey, the weather begins to close in.
It had snowed a bunch. The road that we came in on, you couldn't actually even see it anymore because the wind got blown. It filled the road right in. I walked out away from the van, and I remember making a mark in the snow.
What'd you do that for?
I said, that's about as far as I think our Volkswagen van's gonna get.
I hope not.
I don't think we realized how deep and how bad it had got until we started.
Jeez, even I was being optimistic.
The snow is far too deep for the minivan, but the local guides now decide to carry on down the mountains to try and beat the oncoming blizzard.
And then that's when they said, oh, you have to get in this other truck. And I remember thinking, surprise, surprise. It was an old military type vehicle. It was wide open, the wind's blowing right up your tailpipe. It wasn't real comfortable in the back of there.
With Denny at the wheel, they struggle on through the snow.
And he did an awesome job. We actually made it further while he was driving than we did with anybody else.
But after a few hours, Denny tires and has to give up.
After he started back, he never let me drive anymore.
And as the day goes on, they keep hitting snowdrifts. The hunters are stranded in an icy wilderness, 10,000 feet above sea level in a raging snowstorm. Night is fast approaching, and the temperatures begin to plummet to minus 40 degrees.
How am I going to get out of here?
We decided just to stop and spend the night and wait and hopefully figure out a way to get out.
That's when you're beginning to get a little bit apprehensive about, how am I going to get out of here?
As night falls, the temperatures plummet. Exposure to this extreme of cold can kill human beings within minutes. With just their snowsuits and a thin canvas, they have to huddle up to keep as warm as they can.
I mean, it got down to, somewhere around 30 to 40 below zero that night. The back of the truck was very crowded and it was very cold. It wasn't a fun, comfortable night by no means.
I was apprehensive, scared about the cold, being out of food. It was hard.
Maybe some sleeping bags out there.
Dad is very, compassionate, always thinking of other people.
Somebody else.
And he was worried about were they going to be warm enough. We gave them whatever they needed, socks, boots, jackets, whatever we had that we didn't have on our body ourselves, we let them use.
It's okay.
As night wears on, the locals sense just how dangerous the situation is.
They're getting a little worried. They live there all the time. They realize that people don't go out of their way to come save them, and there's no such thing as a search and rescue or anything like that.
Dawn on the third day brings a life-changing decision for Clay Lancaster. Stay and hope rescue will come, or risk hiking out to find help.
I thought to myself, okay, I'll give it to the end of today, and if nothing's happened by the end of today, then I'm walking. I definitely set it up in my mind that I was going to go.
As the weather clears, Clay's decision to stay proves to be the right one.
Listen.
Now it's like, there they are.
It's a helicopter, I know it is.
Come on!
You know, it was a great feeling to see that helicopter come in.
They've only eaten scraps of food in the last 2 days, and they're ravenously hungry.
The food tastes really good. And of course, they had their vodka. They always have vodka, you know. That's like water to them.
But no sooner has the helicopter landed than the hunters are astonished to see another unexpected sight heading towards them in the distance.
Then all of a sudden, here comes 3 snowmobiles.
We didn't have a clue who they were, where they were coming from.
It was like something you would see in a movie and you'd say, oh, that wouldn't really happen. These guys pull up, and the guys were from America. They spoke English.
We were kind of really shocked to see English-speaking U.S. Border Patrol guys on snow machines where we were at.
The Americans are on a training mission to help the Kyrgyzstan army, and they've been diverted to rescue the men.
And they said, we're here to get you guys out. And said, we'll do whatever you want to do, any way you want to do it.
Clay, Denny, and Spook now have a crucial decision to make. Decision made. The guides load up the chopper. But Spook notices it's carrying an enormous load.
As I get on the helicopter, and I just had a brief thought of, you know, that's kind of weird, you know. All our gear is just piled up in the middle of the floor in the helicopter. It's not strapped down, it's just kind of stacked up.
As it struggles to take off, he begins to doubt they've made the right decision.
And I look back at Clay and I said, do you think we're overloaded? But I mean, the crew seemed to be okay with it, so we just kind of let it roll off our shoulders and went with it.
The pilot gets airborne, and finally, the ordeal is over. But as the helicopter makes its way over the mountains, it becomes clear something is wrong.
I could feel the helicopter sort of tip ahead a little bit. I thought, well, maybe it's out of balance or something.
Move back.
Each move back 1 seat.
Get back. Move back.
I remember looking back out of the window and still seemed like we were high up. And that's the last thing I remember.
The helicopter suddenly spins out of control and plummets to the ground.
I didn't even have time to put my hands up, and then my face flew right into the top of the roof of the helicopter.
It's just a horrifying moment. The fuel tank was on top of me.
I remember all of a sudden going, that looks kind of close. And then boom, we hit. We went sideways and we flipped 8-9 times.
People were screaming and hollering and stuff was flying in every direction.
These drums came past and hit me a couple of times. Then all of a sudden we came to a sliding sort of stop.
First thing I thought of was, you know, you don't live through these kind of things.
The helicopter is ripped open on impact. In the front, Clay is injured, his left eye badly bloodied. The first thing he hears are Denny's cries.
Denny started hollering from the back.
Where is he? Can you see him? Spook! Answer me, son. Answer me, son. Spook!
He didn't answer me.
Denny has no idea if his son has survived the crash.
That was one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life. And I don't know whether it was 1 minute or 5 minutes or whatever it was. It seemed like an eternity.
As I turned to my right, I seen Spook laying down beside me. I said, it's okay, he's right here, he's right here. I said, I got him.
Spook!
Spook is alive but badly injured. He's been crushed on impact and has broken 6 ribs.
Easy, son.
I had blood coming out of my mouth. I could actually feel 1 or 2 of my ribs moving when I would breathe. Felt like knives sticking in me. I've never been in that much pain in that many different places.
Denny and Clay pull him out of the wreckage.
It was like something that would happen to you in a dream, and all of a sudden you just go deaf. It just goes quiet.
And it's only now Clay realizes that he too is badly injured.
And I realized at that point there that I couldn't see anything out of my one eye.
That eye? It was bloody and looked like his eyeball was just torn out almost. You know, I thought it was gone.
And I looked at Denny and I said,
how bad is it?
It's bad.
Clay has lost the sight in one eye. But despite his injury, he and Denny head back into the wreckage to help the others still trapped inside.
There was some people's faces were just torn. It was really, really bad. People were hurt bad.
And I pushed send.
It produces the slimmest of lifelines.
Hello?
It went through to my brother.
Hey, it's me again.
And I said helicopter crashed, and I got half the GPS coordinates of where we're at to him.
Bro?
And then the phone went dead.
You still there? Bro? Bro?
Did my brother catch it all? Did he write it down? I don't know.
With no idea if the coordinates got through, they now face their 3rd night out in the wilderness. And Clay realizes Denny is in extreme pain.
You okay, Denny?
My pain seemed to get worse as the nights went on.
Okay. I had him lift up his shirt and could see a lot of bruising.
It's my ribs.
The adrenaline has been masking the pain until now.
I could tell his ribs were broken, and I was worried that, something was going to happen to him, whether it was puncturing a lung or maybe he'd already done something. Maybe he had some bleeding inside, too.
I say you've broken a couple of ribs there, Danny.
Yeah, well, maybe, but you don't look too good yourself.
Shoes and stuff.
It was like crazy. They just couldn't cope with it. They didn't try to preserve anything for any later moments.
I thought this is going to get really bad in a quick hurry.
Clay decides he must act, or risk everyone dying on the mountainside.
I'm not really good at sitting there and not doing anything. I don't really wait for anybody else to tell me what to do. I just go do it.
But Clay himself is carrying an awful injury.
I took a bunch of snow, cleaned off my eye the best that I could, and actually took some duct tape that I had there and just duct taped it up.
He now realizes he has no option. Half blind, he knows he must leave the wreckage and seek help.
This isn't good, if I don't walk out of here, there's definitely going to be some other people that are going to be gone.
Back at the wreckage, Denny and Spook can only wait and hope Clay will make it through.
Seeing death around you, seeing people other people who you think may die within the next few hours, and being faced with the possibility that you may be one of those people. I had thoughts about, missing out on my kids growing up, and all the things that you get to experience and enjoy as a father. Fishing trips, hunting trips, ball games, plays, just watching them grow up. I love my wife dearly, and the thoughts of, not getting to see her again, race through your mind. It was the worst feeling, the worst moments that I've ever experienced.
Clay and the guide have been battling through the snow for 10 hours.
My legs didn't have the energy. Every time I'd step, I was like, take a deep breath, and it's just like picking up a chunk of lead.
They're completely exhausted.
It was getting closer to dark, and I hit the top of the hill.
Then, out of nowhere, he sees the sign of life he's been hoping for.
I looked in front of me, and I could see a military outpost, and I could hear snow machines.
It's a chance of rescue. But the riders of the snowmobiles can't see Clay and the guide. He has to find a way to get their attention.
It didn't seem like it got anybody's attention.
But Clay notices that one of the riders has stopped.
He went to the back part of his machine, and I fired a shot back behind him. And I watched with my binoculars, and his head popped up. I fired a second shot. And they all kind of turned and looked back towards him. And I could see they seen me, and they all jumped on their machine and come roaring to where I was at.
Incredibly, the snowmobiles are the same ones from the US military that Clay, Denny, and Spook turned down a lift with just 36 hours earlier.
Seeing English-speaking guys on snow machines at that point, I was pretty happy to see them.
After 3 days out in the mountains, their ordeal is finally over.
Hearing that snowmobile get closer and closer and seeing him pull up, it was a sweet feeling.
Oh, it was just a great feeling. That was one of the greatest feelings I've ever had.
The hunters are flown to Hong Kong, where they receive medical treatment. Clay's eye is treated, and his sight is saved.